Hey champs, it's Michael J, Yoga Biz Champ here, and today it's a treat. I've teamed up with my podcast buddy, Tyler Valencia from the KIPS Podcast for a joint episode that's airing on both of our shows. We're pulling back the curtains on how we're actually using AI every day in our fitness and yoga businesses. This isn't just theory, these are real-world tools, real time savers, and the systems that are helping us grow our brands, create content, and stay human in our client work. And quick heads up, it's July 2025. Spaces for my September Starter Studio and Grower Studio coaching packages are almost gone. If you're a yoga teacher dreaming of opening a studio or a studio owner craving more freedom, now's the time to book your free intro chat with me. Go to yogabizchamp.com/book and get on my schedule as soon as possible before spots fill up. All right, let's dive in. This is AI Chat. Studio owners, you're going to want to get a notebook for this one. Tyler, my podcast buddy, good to be back with you.
Yes, we got a great topic here for, I mean, your typical audience, the yoga business owner, somebody in that audience, but also for any fit pro. I mean, if you are a fan of the podcast, I host the KIPS Podcast, you know, it's different fitness professionals, and what we're going to be talking about with AI tools and the utilization of it, that transcends every type of individual in the health and fitness spectrum.
Yeah. Mine's yoga studios specifically is the people that I'm talking about. And I got to tell you, I use AI every day. I feel like it's like become my third screen. It's taken over.
The one that I use, and we'll talk about each other's tools that are utilized. I mean, I just told my wife yesterday as we were eating dinner, here is how I used it yesterday, and what a time saver it was compared to the last online course I was developing. It was a matter of snap of the fingers compared to a whole day or two worth of writing exam questions. That's the example that I was talking to her about, but it's really, I think, changed the process for those that are utilizing it on a daily basis. And I hope people listening or watching that they can see, like, I can be able to utilize it in an effective way.
Yeah, I feel like the people that weren't AI users a year ago are using it now. And every time a year or so ago when I showed it to somebody for the first time, specifically ChatGPT, the wow factor was always the speed.
Yeah,
it's just like they've almost just finished typing it, and it's like it's started already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think early on, I think it's important to say that AI is, one, not going away, but two, it's not there to replace somebody. In my opinion, depending on what platform you go on, if you go on some of the more intense platforms, let's say like X/Twitter, that you will come away with thinking, oh, AI, Skynet is going to replace everybody. You got my Terminator joke there. But once you start using AI tools, you kind of see to it at the same time. I don't think this is quite replacing anybody.
So what was your first exposure to AI?
It was, to be honest, it was my wife, and she started utilizing it more in her job, her workflow quicker than me. And I've been more hesitant. I was more hesitant, but I am, of course, a believer now in the use of it. I have this belief that in the right hands, it can be a very powerful tool for a business owner or a fitness professional, depending on how you are utilizing it. And I know we're going to talk about those types of ways throughout this podcast. But years when the Chat GPT was starting to really gain some traction, she would mention, oh, here's what I did with it. And I was just very hesitant with it just because I thought to myself, is it really that good? But once I did purchase a subscription, I'll just throw it right now. I use Grammarly and their tools. I am a big believer, and I'm very sad that they denied me for an affiliate link because I would talk about it even more. But what about you?
I think I think ChatGPT was kind of the first one that I used as a tool, but I think a lot of people don't realize quite often the AI is actually already working on some things on, like on my phone, for example. The first thing I do every morning is I actually don't watch news anymore as much as I used to. I try to read the news like the old days, newspapers. So the first thing I do in the morning is I pull up my two things. I weigh myself on my digital scale, and I read I read the news. So every morning when I pull up my phone and I swipe down, those two things are always up in the morning. So I don't think people realize that's AI knowing my schedule and what so it's delivering it to me. Anyway, that's a little bit off track. But yeah, ChatGPT, I think, as someone that used to own a marketing and design agency, I mean, that was the wow thing for me. It's just like, how can I use this to just enhance what I'm already doing? And you're right, it's not about replacing. It's like, it's just a speed factor for me now. It's just like, well, it's fast for me to do this and even tweak it. And I think that we'll talk about that, right? Not just accepting the first thing that it shows you always. But yeah, definitely ChatGPT was the tool that I've used, and the first one I've paid for, because just like Canva, there are a few subscriptions that are worthwhile, right? The Canva to me is good value. And so that's, I think to most people, and the same with ChatGPT, it's like, well, I think $20 a month. That's a lot. That's my biggest tool, one of my biggest tools now. So, yeah.
Do you have like a specific protocol or something in your workflow that AI has enhanced it so much that you're like, oh wow, like this was X amount of time before?
Yeah, podcasting. Yeah, so this doesn't really help the fitness studio owner, but for podcasting, for me, it's fantastic. For one, Otter.ai, which is a transcript tool. So I use that actually for free. You get a certain amount of, but I get the transcript from that, and then I drop it into ChatGPT, and from that I get suggested episode titles. I have it trained to give me all of this stuff every time I drop a transcript. I get suggested catchy titles. I get show notes written by it, and they are not final show notes. I go in there and I tweak, it's not final by any means. But that production side of things for me has just made that process so much faster. So yeah, not on the fitness side of things, but yeah, definitely that's been a great bottleneck for me. It's just got rid of that.
Yeah. I'll tie in our last episode that we did for your podcast, the Yoga Biz Champ. On there, I talked a lot about SEO and how to build your digital footprint and the importance of it. And we can make sure to include a link in the description for that to, if that does interest you, anybody that's listening. But that has been one of my big things that has been a game changer for me for speed reasons. Over the last 8 to 10 months, I've been going back and re-editing all the content on the KIPS blog, whether it's a podcast or a blog. And I've been using my AI, Grammarly, to not only just clean things up, expand blog posts, but also really target certain keywords to be SEO friendly with each blog post. And I'll give an example here that just makes it much quicker. One of the key things for a blog post is defining terms. So if you're talking about, I'm just going to use an example from the last podcast that I recorded for the KIPS Podcast. It was a guest who is a specialist with working with women that are going through menopause, and just defining that so that, one, the reader understands what we're talking about, and this could be anything, but then also Google likes it because now you're becoming an authoritative source on this. If you're including different types of research, a part of it, again, Google's going to scan it, crawl it, and if you are doing this correctly, you are hopefully getting rich snippets. If you're listening, you're like, okay, Tyler, what are you talking about right now? if you were to type in a question to Google and let's say, what is menopause? At the top, you'll typically see their own AI. It has definitions, and then one step further, they'll have a little link, a little chain at the bottom.
Yeah, where it came from.
Exactly. Yep. And if you can get into those, oh my, you're just increasing organic traffic there, which is part of that process of SEO and blog writing and a goal, really.
Well, I'll give you one here, Tyler. You could also, which I just did, you could also feed it a list of all your episodes or your YouTube videos and have your podcast reference resources, your blog post reference those resources, so you've got the links going to different. Yeah,
it's a good one. And with the whole SEO side of it, I think the important, and I'm glad that you already mentioned it, is that you're not replacing somebody that's writing blog content. At the same time, I'm adamant that you need to be a copywriter. You need to be somebody that is proofing anything that is being generated by AI. And most people that use AI, they can recognize AI generated content.
Yeah, I feel like you have to tell it, don't put all the emojis in.
You have to be somebody that is scanning line by line, word by word. Does this sound like you writing this? Because there's common phrases, and that's one of the metrics that a lot of AI tools, the more updated ones, they have what they can analyze the text and tell you what is the percentage of AI inside of this document. Really? And I bring this up because you don't want to be dinged by Google if you are just if you are just using AI to just generate all these different blog posts because you saw somebody on TikTok or some YouTube video saying this is the way to grow your traffic on your website, and if Google finds that out, they're going to ding you, and you don't want that. It'll just tank your site immediately. So you have to be very strict on your writing, on your proofing. I was thinking of a 100%. Question here with using AI and making sure that you are reviewing it and being somebody that's just constantly going through it. Have you seen other businesses use it and you're like, I know this is AI?
Oh, for sure. I on myself, actually, when one of my yoga studios messaged me and said, you left the ChatGPT bottom part in your post.
Oh, no.
Don't do that, folks.
Don't do that. Don't do that. A good question along the same lines of getting caught is prompts. I think that's one of the big things that people struggle with. How do you approach prompts?
I think if you go back before, though, that, Tyler, I think if I'm going to talk about ChatGPT here, in the settings, I'm not sure if this is not in the unpaid version, I'm not sure, but in the paid version for sure, in the settings, there's an area you can go in there where you can tell it everything about your business and about you and about your tone. So I think that's an important, people kind of miss that. If you tell that as much about you, for me, it would be, for my studios, it would be, we are a yoga studio in this location. This is our mission, vision, values. These are our programs. This is what we serve. This is our tone. And we are non-intimidating, welcoming to all age, like whatever. Like I would really put that in there first. But I think the prompt is the key. And I think where people go wrong with it is the last part of the prompt. What is the actual outcome you want and expect? And I think they figure, write me. So in my world, it'll be, let's say, a landing page for an intro offer to a yoga studio, like a 2-week, $49, $69 intro for that. Like putting something like that up and having ChatGPT write that in a really good way for you, I think is like, so in the marketing world, there are experts out there, on sales pages like Alex Hormozy. And so you could go, create a landing page in the style of Alex Hormozy, if you know who he is, or anybody else, and make it problem and solution. What solutions do you solve for people's problems? And what is the outcome I want of this landing page? The idea is to get people to purchase this intro. So what is we want at the end is the purchase. And so giving it like really defined like that. But the other thing I think people go wrong is just settling with the first response from AI. Right. I think it's okay to go, I actually not quite right. You're missing this piece. You're missing this piece. And like doing that multiple tweaks until it's perfection. So I think it is all in the prompt, but I think people miss out saying, what do you actually want out of this? Like, do you want an Excel spreadsheet? Do you want a doc file? Do you want it to, what about you?
I think that it's a great exercise for individuals that are struggling with who is my audience, who am I trying to make this for. I think that has really helped me really pull back on being more strict with it.
Niche.
I think I've shared, that in different podcasts, I feel like I've shared before that I used to try to be that, okay, KIPS is for, even though any type of Fit Pro can take our education. Anybody within the fitness industry, because there's CEUs with different organizations and different certifications. The audience that I've really tried to focus on over the last 10 months is personal trainers. Yeah. So that type of being more strict with it, I think it comes across better with the materials that are being put out, but now feeding that information to the AI tool that I use, Grammarly, that is one of the first things that I start off with. Gear this towards a personal trainer. And then I'll put in the rest of my different prompts. And another piece of it, let's say that I'm writing a blog post and I really want this to be up another level. You can do exactly what you mentioned with adding in the tone of the piece that you're writing. But then I will even sometimes include APA format so that I get the references included in those so I can make.
Can you translate that?
Like a reference is used like in APA. So like with like APA format, like if you were to see like the research where this came from, like what you are referencing. And so like, let's say that I'm going to use the example I used before about the recent blog or the podcast I did about menopause. I included the references, the journal articles that are being referenced in it, so that if anybody did want to go read these further, they could. And so I think those pieces right there, they help somebody. Who am I trying to target with this? Yeah. Who do I want that's reading this to find it? That hopefully that it is.
And what do you solve for them?
Exactly, because I think just trying to have general blog posts or content going out there, you're missing an opportunity to really hone in and be more specific. Honestly,
honing in. And I was helping a studio open in a small town, and I remember walking to the gym and with the phone version of ChatGPT where you can talk to it. And so I was talking to my phone and it was talking back to me, and I did all this demographic research on this town, what their income was, what the age groups were, and it was just talking to me all the way to the end. By the time I got to the gym, I was like super clear about the demographics of this entire area. And, it was like retired. How can we solve that problem with yoga? What type of yoga would that audience be into and looking for? Do they have the income for it? It was really useful just for doing that alone.
Yeah. And I do want to dive into this more because I like this battle that we're also talking about with how AI, very useful, very efficient, but also the input from subject matter experts is very important. With a series of content that I've been releasing with KIPS, it's really about the new, inexperienced personal trainer, how are you getting hired? How can you improve your chances? All those kinds of things. And I've been reaching out to different hiring managers that I know for different gym chains. And what has been very interesting to me is when I am creating these descriptions for the videos that I'm recording, I'll do general things like, okay, what are some key elements that should be included in a personal trainer resume? What are some tips? I'll see what AI or what Grammarly puts out. But then when I go look at what hiring managers are sending me, they're sending me basically responses to some questions. It is almost night and day in terms of AI, very general, very things that you maybe heard 5-10 years ago, but in-depth, relevant information that people that are actively doing whatever tasks that you're trying to find out. Subject matter experts, there's no, you can't go away from those types of things. So,
well, there's certain things we don't want it to replace, right? Is that humanness, it's like even teaching, it's like AI can't stop us from being human on the mat or in the, in the fitness facility, right? We don't want it to replace us that way. Although there are bots that are doing things that are crazy right now. But, you could use it to help with your prompts and things like that when you're teaching. When I first started teaching, I used to write down every inhale, arms overhead, exhale, arms down, like literally that's how I learned. And I would have that in front of me on the mat. You could definitely use AI to help quicken that process for you to then learn in person.
Yeah, it's fascinating with those pieces. Like depending on, I'll go back to what platform you're on, you'll think that, oh my goodness, AI is going to be teaching people how to train clients and the personal trainer is going to be gone. And all of a sudden you tune in for one of those things. You're like, this is what they're offering. Like this makes me look better as a fitness professional or a yoga instructor. You can't replace somebody with their personality and their insight and their level of education. And I will use the example that I've been talking about with blog writing and different formatting. When I ask for references and I'm at your APA formatting and give me these references, I have to go in and heavily edit these things. And I'm just like, it's great, it's efficient, but I'm not impressed. I will say that right now. It doesn't impress me. And I know that I have college level professor friends that they can easily tell, like students that are using AI and they're just hurting their grades because they're missing the point of the use of it. They're trying to replace their own voice and their own perspective on things.
I have a writer that takes these episodes and she creates posts out of them. They've mostly been going up on LinkedIn. But there's such she's fantastic. There's such a humanness to what she does. She's such an expert in the fitness field. And I wouldn't, it costs me money for that, but I feel like the results are much, much better for me. In the end.
I think that I don't use AI for the design of content in terms of when I'm creating, let's say, an email blast. I know people are probably using that already. I think that when you have a process in place that's working, use AI to fine tune them, but I wouldn't completely do a swap. My email blast that I create with KIPS, I feel like that has been an evolution over the last 10 months and something that has helped with our open rate, our click rate, things that we're known for, that people email about, that reach out and want to network with KIPS. And so I think don't quickly over rely on AI tools. If you think that I'm just going to use AI just to replace this to make it so I don't have to do it, I think you still need to have that skill set to create high quality content without it.
Yeah, so let's talk about real world things that our clients, so your personal and fitness studios and yoga studios. So let's talk about real world kind of scenarios where the listeners can really make use of some of the tools.
I want to shout out one of my fellow YouTube friends that this cycling instructor, she does have a live presence, but her online channel, her name's Jen Tough Cycling. I messaged her this week through one of her stories because I was just blown away. She uses CapCut. I know it's a popular app, and she's told me before how she utilizes it, and I was just blown away. I think the exact wordage that I used was, "This is like something that I would see on TV, like that someone paid thousands of dollars for." Yeah, that she injected her own content to, that it generated this form of, it could have been a reel, but she uses it in her story. And I was just blown away. This is the level of content that you were putting in your story. Wow. Really good stuff. And she will, if I know she'll listen to this episode, she will tell you that she's not the most technical. Yes, she's going to learn everything. She's one of those individuals that, okay, what are those tools? How can I progress? But she is one of those people that she's going to learn all the pieces. She's going to DIY it herself. And I mention that because listeners, they're probably in that same boat. I just need the tools. How can I make good content? Probably seen these good reels and stories. What are these tools that these creators are using? I think that's one of them. CapCut, that can really help you.
Yeah, because reels are a bottleneck for a lot of people, right? They take time. You have to learn how to do them, and that's a great one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. A lot of people run their email through Gmail, and which, if you're on the paid version, if you're a business and you're on the paid version, that comes with Google Gemini. I kind of been ignoring Google Gemini for a little while, and then a few weeks ago, I had it go through my emails. Well, first of all, I use, here's another AI, but I use Zoom AI to record or get summaries of my client meetings, which has been it's been a bottleneck thing for me. That's solved, because then every week I've got last week's notes very easily. I didn't have to use a pen and paper for anything, and so that's been a great one. But I had it go through Gemini, go through my emails and go through all the summaries and come back with common problems and solutions of my real life clients. And I feel, so that's my business as a coach, but I feel like the studio or solopreneur professional could use that to go through correspondence with past clients and find some common scenarios that you could template responses to. Or learn more. What are the common emails we have to deal with? Is it class cancellations? That people are coming to me. Can we get rid of the email by communicating with them more? So I'm just saying you could actually use that real life communication data already in your Gmail box to give you some helpful tools for running your business smoother.
I'll give for the content creators out there. People that watch anything on the KIPS YouTube channel or even on social media channels. And people, I'll admit it, that I am an audio and video snob. I enjoy good audio. I enjoy quality looking video because I just think if you want to be a professional in the field, here's how you can stand out with certain things. And I use Adobe Podcast, which has a AI function within its audio cleaner and audio enhancer. Now, if you are somebody that's doing a podcast, you're making content for YouTube, whether it is a workout channel, tutorials, whatever that might be, audio is king. It's been one of those things for the last 5-10 years that somebody on YouTube will watch a video that has good audio and bad video over a video that has good video but terrible audio. So if you want to enhance your podcast, if you want to enhance the tutorial that you're making, I would look into Adobe Podcast, and it's a part of my subscription. I do have the Adobe Creative Suite.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to.
How would you, to your podcast, how would you apply the suite to like their average fitness person or studio? Like, how would they make use of that?
I'll give you the rundown of how I do it, and there are steps in there that, again, I'll admit it, that they're probably not necessary, and it's just because I'm an audio snob. But the way that I do it is, let's say that I record a podcast. I will first put it into Premiere Pro, so I will sync all the audio tracks up. When I do a podcast through Zoom, I have it selected so our audio files are recorded separately so that I can edit them separately. So first, then Premiere Pro, I will then export them to Adobe Audition. This is just to clean some things up. Audition has some cool tools that will look for different spikes and even them out. It'll denoise the audio. It'll level it out. Pretty cool things. Then after that, that's the step that I would say is me just being a snob about it. Probably don't need to do that step, especially if you are putting it into Adobe Podcast. But then I will drop these files into Adobe Podcast, and they have a pretty cool tool now that you can adjust how much of the effect is on it and how much of the background is on it. So you could find that nice sweet spot.
You get rid of hums in the background, and
exactly. And what kind of microphone you have plays into it too. So like we're recording a podcast here, so I'm using my Shure microphone. But if I'm recording a workout on my Rode Go microphone, that has a different level of effect, and that is preference, in my opinion.
I think we could do a whole different podcast just on sound, because that is an area that when you're creating content and in a yoga studio, quite often they don't have a mic on. They're on the other side of the room demoing something, and it's an echoey room. It sounds like shit. And so I think every yoga studio owner or fitness person should invest in a lapel type of mic of some kind, because sound is important. But there is an AI tool built into the iPhone, the latest iPhones now, where I've actually got it up here right now, where you can record something and then I don't know if you can, might not show, but you can choose studio sound, and that's an AI enhancement, but it actually is really quite, so you could just record it on your phone and then apply that afterwards, and it does make a big difference to your output. I mean, these tools, in my opinion, make content creation so easier, but also more professional. I think that's one of the points that you made on the KIPS podcast when you came on my podcast was about how the solopreneur has tools at their hand. And that's what AI is really. You have all these different tools right in your hand to be able to make better content. And really... I think we're mostly talking about marketing. I mean, we've really focused quite a bit on the marketing stuff today, right? But that really is for the fitness professional that is not a trained marketer, and as a solopreneur or a studio, you are all roles. You are your own marketer, you're your salesperson, so to have these tools to make some of it a little bit easier, especially if it's not your superpower. I've got some studio owners that are really into Alex Hormozy and that are really into the marketing side, and they're killing it online, but they also love doing that stuff. It gives it gives them, but if that's not your jam, there are tools to really help with that. I was just going to bring up some tools, if you don't mind, I think in the industry, like the fitness industry that I think we should be keeping an eye on. And I have many software partners. I partner with a lot of studios, booking softwares. And what's really interesting in this world, what I'll mention one in particular, Walla, Walla. They can be found on my website, yogabizchamp.com. They are really fantastic because we had a partner meeting a while ago, but they're really diving into AI as far as they have built-in marketing suites, a marketing suite. So when someone books, automated things can go out, SMSs and what have you. But they've also now got AI built into the email generation. But they're also dialing into support on that. So they have a support bot called Finn, and it's constantly learning and improving. And so that's taken a lot of bottleneck out of the business, but it's also a lot easier. MindBody has this as well. They have a version of it. But these are great tools that are going to be built into the software to, in the booking system, in the marketing automation, and in the customer support. So I think that's a really cool thing where the industry's kind of going. And if I was looking at booking systems, I'd be thinking ahead. Making sure that the company that you're, using for running your business is going to be forward thinking in these areas. Because I think that's, we want all these automations. If somebody doesn't, book for a class, we want to remind them. But having AI help that now, I think is going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, I will say that I've been a proponent for booking systems over the last 5 years for individuals that are not as savvy with online tools. I think that if you could take one thing off your plate, do it. I mean, I can create websites. That's why I go that route. But on the other side, if you want to be I like that word that you use, the solopreneur, that is booking your own clients, working out of a studio or whatever that might be, go that route. And I like that kicker that you throw in there. See what they are investing their time into. Are they constantly updating their software, their platform, to be able to help you as you grow? Those are big keys.
Yeah. Great. And a lot of the platforms now, the AI is helping in the reporting of data. You and I are big data nerds, and I love my clients' data because it doesn't lie. If it's done properly, it doesn't lie. But what you can also do, like things like ChatGPT, a lot of people really aren't tapping into this. You can feed spreadsheets into it and reports, and you can get it to analyze things. Like even if you're a solopreneur, you could probably pull a Stripe report. If everything's run through your Stripe, you could pull Stripe reports and have a look at trends. Look at this through downturns, and so a little bit of predictability. So I always like my studios to be ahead of everything. And if we've got data, and we've been in business several years, you should have a few years worth of data. And so with that data, if you're a fitness professional, it could be how many clients you had, how many students were on the mat. Or sales. So if you've got low retention time or you've got low attendance times, you get ahead of that with a challenge, but you're ahead of it by 8 weeks, which means you have to be ahead of it to be ready 8 weeks before, right? So, but that data helps you get ahead of things, and it helps you, in my world, the summer is the killer in a lot of studios. People on vacations, they don't like to commit, right? So we do summer challenges, and we package up 2 months bucket of sale, buy an unlimited pass, doesn't matter if you go away. But the data tells us that's a low time. And so if we're ahead of that, 2 months before, we should be selling our summer pass. And so I think no matter what fitness world you are in, you can use GPT or tools to feed your spreadsheets in, reports or whatever, and analyze it, make it easy. If you're not a numbers nerd, have it help you.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier how you use AI on a daily basis. For somebody listening that they are on the fence, they don't know where to start, what's something on a weekly basis that they could implement that would just get their feet wet, get the wheels rolling? Because I think we're both on the same page that you're not going to be an expert right off the bat with AI tools.
Well, it's the same with anything. It's practice. I mean, I don't know about a weekly thing. I think because I'm more sort of on a daily. I'm a little bit more reactive probably that way. But yeah, I just think it's just practice with the things. And it's same as online content. You know, I'm always trying to get my studio, and you have to get comfortable talking to the camera now. No ifs, ands, or buts. Yeah. But I watch my studio owners really awkward at first, right? And then I see them 2 months later, you know, not caring if they got makeup on, just chatting to so it's the same with AI. It's like use it as a tool. I would use it I do use it every day, but I think use it as a tool to get ahead, whether it's help me plan out a week of content, right? Or help me do you can get it to do a marketing plan for you. You know, you can act as my marketing expert and advise me under these circumstances. This is the outcome I want. But just using it, I think, will help. And just remember that first thing, it doesn't come back to you. You can refine it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I will share my early progression with it, that hopefully somebody listening is in that same boat and they're thinking, well, where can I use it? I mentioned that I use Grammarly, and I like how it integrates too with my phone. So it's on my phone, and it's in every single app. That's one of the pieces that I really like about it is it's in my email. Whether I am on my YouTube dashboard to edit things, or I'm on my phone for text messages or emails, that I like those pieces. And that was one of those pieces that just helped me get comfortable with it. A normal email that I'm writing, instead of the usual, just, okay, you misspelled this word incorrectly, the ability to get a recommendation to fine tune it. It sounds more professional. It just kind of let me know, okay, this done. Okay, that's good. That looks good. That makes it sound better. Yeah, okay. I feel more comfortable with that. Okay, let me take that to my marketing now. Let me have AI rewrite. Let me have Grammarly rewrite this description that I have for an Instagram reel. Let me have them rewrite it to shorten it so that it sounds different, looks different than the blog post that it's coming from. Yeah. So that when I put it on IG, it gives it a different tone. Great. Now, oh wow, this looks great, sounds great, looks professional. Great. Let me move to the next step. Yeah. Let me have it write a description for me for a YouTube video that's on the topic of that video. So building this example of building from have it integrated, see how you can utilize it on a daily basis, then start putting it into action. Social media, low barrier right there, that if you misspelled something or if it didn't come across as well as you thought it should, no biggie. I'll have another post the next day, and then you can get better with that. Take it to another step in your workflow. Content creation for YouTube. Okay, let me have it write this 1,000-word description for me. Okay, it's okay. Let me fine tune it, and then you get better with the prompts, as we talked about.
Learning to make it keyword rich, and
exactly. And so I think that just getting comfortable with it is part of the key for it. As at first you're thinking, okay, that wasn't that impressive, or that wasn't that good. Just see how it works into your workflow.
Yeah, real world. I am going back a little bit, Tyler. I'm kind of a little bit curious. We didn't really touch on this too much, but you had mentioned how you use it for SEO.
Mm-hmm. Great idea. And this is one that I got from a AI SEO tip video. And so I'll give a shout out to the company that I watch on a weekly basis. It's Ahrefs. They are a SEO tool that's pretty popular, and they create daily, if not weekly, content about SEO. And it was going through tips for how to use AI, and that could be one for if you're struggling with content ideas. You could feed any AI tool, whether it's ChatGPT or Grammarly, give me 10 ideas in the fitness education realm geared towards personal trainers that are relevant today. Boom, 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 boom. They'll give me 10 ideas. Give me 10 more. Boom, 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 boom. Now you can search through those and see, okay, what's trending now? What's popular? What are things that I feel comfortable making a video about? Take one of those, start creating an outline, and you can even have an AI tool start helping you generate those ideas. What are some key terms inside of this keyword or key phrase that it gave you to help you expand? I would take it one step further and go search on YouTube and see if there's any content already out there like that, so that it can help you kind of see what's out there, how are people talking about it, so that you can start to shape your own language and video and even the structure of the video. But when I create a video or when I write a blog post, I'm using AI to write each section and making sure that with my SEO checker that's installed on my websites, I use Yoast SEO, that I'm getting good marks across from it, that I'm looking at the feedback on it, and so that you can find that rhythm of what is SEO friendly, what is Google going to look for, and how can you hopefully tap into those items. Like I mentioned before, the rich snippets. I will say that one of the videos that I did had to be late last year. I'll give this real world example here. So with KIPS, we're a fitness education company. So I used this strategy called I'm going to draw a blank on my own topics here. It's a topic, or it's a strategy where you go and copy someone else's video or blog post and you make it better. And so I found one of my really close competitors, and I saw they had a blog post on how to recertify your personal training certification. Yeah. I looked at the blog post they had. It was a big one for them. It was a good traffic getter for them. I was like, I think I can do better than this. I made a video, and then I made a blog post that was more informative, included more organizations, more detail. And when I posted it, and once it started trending, it became one of those rich snippets at the top, like videos you may want to watch.
Yeah.
And so that example there, that is
so just finding somebody else in your field that's doing really well and somewhat duplicating it some way.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also the CapCut app that you mentioned before, if you did get that, it also has a built-in teleprompter. So for some people that don't, so that's having your script overlay as you record.
Yeah.
But on those, I have to say, sometimes I watch the eyes moving back and forth, right? And it doesn't feel authentic. Nice. So we shouldn't be scared of AI. We should embrace it, use it as a tool, just to enhance what we're already doing or areas that we're not necessarily an expert at. Yeah.
The parts of it is looking at it from an efficiency standpoint. If it makes sense, if it's actually helping with your workflow, use it more. As I mentioned when we started off, in the right hands, AI tools are very powerful. If you are somebody that's not going to be proofing it, you're just going to take exactly what the AI tool gives you, and you're not either asking it for another refresh or another version of it, or you're not going to go through word by word, people are going to quickly see, okay, they used AI for this. This is kind of cheesy, and they might just move on.
I didn't tell you this, Tyler, but I got really geeky. I'll send you a copy of it. I'm not sending it to anybody else because it's an amazing tool. I created my first GPT. So I have a Yoga Biz Champ GPT that I am training on my industry and my field. And it just keeps getting better and better, but it literally takes a lot of my content and industry stuff, and it's all put it together. So it's a little dangerous because I don't want to replace myself as a coach. That's the danger of something like that.
Yeah, that's full Skynet.
But this has been super fun talking about this. I feel like there's just so many great tools here.
Great.
The one thing I'm going to give a precaution. This is just a bit of this is not to do with our industry, but I did see a thing the other day where it's, if you get a call and you don't know who it is, don't say the word yes, because a lot of people are recording that and then using the AI to use that to get fraudulent into things of yours. And the other thing was, because there's a lot of dupes and clones happening now, and that's getting easier and easier, that in your family or in your personal world, have a safe word. Because a lot of these clones can sound like us, look like us, could, say a call. This is totally out of our industry, but it could, could say something like, I'm in prison, send money, or send, something like that. And so they're just saying, because the clone thing is just to really protect yourself that way.
I like it. Or I like the tip there, to be careful.
Where can they find you, Tyler?
Yeah, my Instagram is _Tyler Valencia, and then another _. If you are a fitness professional looking for continuing education, there's KIPS, KIPS online.org, and we have approvals from a lot of the top fitness education companies there. And of course, check out our YouTube channel, where we have the podcast that Michael has been on, and you can either watch it, listen to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, but a lot of great free content. It's really about the foundation of KIPS is free content to hopefully help people out there grow their business. What about you, Michael? What is
I'm Yoga Biz Champ on everything. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, pretty much Yoga Biz Champ. And then my podcast, which is talking to experts in the field, such as yourself and rocking yoga studio owners. And I do coaching for yoga studios. I specialize in helping studios open successfully and helping yoga studios grow their studios successfully and gain freedom. And it's so fun having a podcast buddy, because this is going to go out on both of our platforms, which is kind of fun. So we get to just jam together, and we're just so geeky together. Like, everybody doesn't know this, but we started with probably a half an hour chat where we got totally in the weeds in the geeky stuff before we even started recording.
It's a good sign. You meet someone virtually and you already feel like you're good friends and you can share insight, and that's part of business growth. So I think I'm very lucky in that opportunity there.
Yeah, great jamming with you, Tyler.
Yes, you too.
Ciao. Thanks for tuning in, champs. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to this channel. It means a lot. And if you're ready to open your own studio or grow your current one, visit yogabizchamp.link/YouTube to book your free strategy call with myself and explore my starter studio and grower studio packages. And you'll also get access to all of my free Yoga Biz Champ resources, yogabizchamp.link/YouTube. And you can check out other insights and follow me on all social media platforms at Yoga Biz Champ. See you next time.